Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, we are back home now. Back to work. No more fun. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the beautiful parts of Pennsylvania as much as I enjoyed being in them. Racetown Lake is an area my family's been going to since way before I was born. We know a few of the locals up there that own a lot of property. We haven't really seen them much the past couple of years, but we rent a cabin every year. Lately it's been the same cabin. Who the hell's this guy? Lately it's been the same place. We haven't been jumping around much just because it's so beautiful where we are. But the week's over now. Gotta get back to work. I took off yesterday, did a small drywall job for a teacher at the high school that I used to go to, which, as most things do, turned into him and his wife wanting me to put a couple doors in, cut their countertop, put a new sink in, a couple fun items that most people don't really do themselves for various reasons. Today for work, we're going to the University of Penn to start a new job that should last us the next 3 years. 3 summers anyway, not 3 full years, but 3 summers. I wanted to address a few questions that I get every now and then. There's a gnat in here, that's annoying. So a couple questions that I get, I don't want to say often, but a few that have been popping up a lot recently are, get the fuck out of here. Why did I buy a diesel over gas? A lot of you think that's going to be a silly question, but to some people that aren't quite, I'm going to say truck enthusiasts, I guess, maybe, it's a little harder for them to understand the appeal of a diesel truck over a gas truck, let alone for some people that may not tow often. I know a lot of people with diesels don't tow often, but that's besides the point. So the reason I bought a diesel over a gas truck, besides the fact that I always wanted a diesel truck anyway, my uncle had a ton of diesels. He had one gas. It was a 2008 GMC, and he completely hated it. Totally hated it. When he had it, he said, "I will never ever buy a gas truck again." He couldn't wait to get rid of it, and now he has a 2015 LML Chevy, and he already has ordered a 2018 GMC Denali, which actually I was talking to him about the other day. I asked him how his order was going, when he thought he was going to be receiving it, and he told me that it got pushed back because right now GM isn't making any white trucks for 2500s. They're available in 3 colors. I think he said they were red, black, and silver. How are you not going to already make the most popular color pickup truck that you have, that you sell? Apparently the new white is called Frost White, I guess. Everybody knows the current white, if you want to say current. The white I have is called Summit White. It's been Summit White for years. I guess they're doing a Frost White now, whatever the hell that is. I'm excited to see it. But right now they make a 1500 in it, but they won't paint a 2500 for some reason or another. I'm sure they're made in separate facilities. But for the amount of money people pay for these trucks, how are you not doing them in white yet? And why is it going to take until September, possibly January, for somebody to get their truck because some idiot thought there's more red trucks than white trucks? Now that we're past that, I forget where I was now. I bought diesel over gas because of the power difference between the horsepower and torque. durability of the motor and the transmission. Everybody knows Allison transmissions. They're fantastic. It's like a piece of mind with a stock item. I had a Chevy Cruze. I had the 1500 GMC, and I wasn't overly confident and comfortable with the transmissions in the truck and the car. Of course, the Cruze I got rid of as soon as I could, because I could just feel that the whole thing was gonna turn to shit and be a nightmare just a few years down the road. And not that I tow very often, but when I do, it's nice knowing that I have more than enough power and more than enough capability than what I need. So I guess that's durability, reliability, capability. Now, of course, the diesels are like 8, 9, sometimes maybe 10 grand more than the same exact truck as a gas. But you're also going to get that back in your resale value. You actually get a little bit, as far as I know, you get a little bit better fuel mileage out of a diesel on the highway. And even in this, well, I'm not going to say in the city, but like city mileage, I think the diesels are actually a little better too. Just because a gas truck needs to put in a little more effort to move all of the weight of the truck, where a diesel just doesn't care what's in it or how much the truck weighs. It's just going to push you. Especially if you're the type of person that wants to lift your truck. I could not imagine driving a lifted gas truck with all that added weight. I was also asked if you could compare a lot of things about a diesel truck to a diesel car. And to be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't know anything about diesel cars. I've never had one. I've only had 2 cars, and they were both gas Chevrolets. I had a 02 Chevy Impala and a 2012 Chevy Cruze. So I have zero clue what a diesel car looks like under the hood, more or less. I'm sure they share plenty of similarities, just like how gas and diesel trucks share a few similarities, but all in all, I no idea. Do I ever wish that I got a different lift? Do I? I'm happy with the height of the truck right now. I'm happy with the ride. Do I wish I was a little taller? Yeah, I guess so. I wish I was maybe, if I got the 7 to 9 inch or a 10. I'd like to be just a little bit more obnoxious while fitting a 38, maybe 38, 40 inch tire a little easier. It's just the added cost of going from a pretty affordable 4 to 6 inch to a pretty crazy 8 inch. I think from Cognito, if I remember correctly, I think their 10 inch lift kit might cost $7,000 or $8,000, something like that. I don't really remember, but it's up there a bit. Even FTS, I think, once was probably about 8, 9, 10. All right, maybe not 10, but it was like 8. To where my 4 to 6 inch adjustable kit was $3,300, I think. And then, of course, once you're going with the bigger lift, you go with bigger tires. Bigger tires cost more than what I have now. Bigger wheels cost more than what I have now. Well, I mean, I'd keep the same wheels. I just need a bigger tire. But at that point, if you're getting 40s or 38s, are you really going to do 12.5? So are you going to do 14? You know, another question I received recently was from DMax54. I'll put his Instagram here. His truck is beautiful. Before he had a lot of his work done, pretty much when he was stock, we talked a lot. And then he went and had a lot of work done. His truck is he lived around here, he would have one of the nicest. Yeah, well, you know, I don't know many people around here that have Denali's. He would have the nicest Denali in PA if he lived here. I will say that. But he has a tire. Sorry, I'm blinking so much. I think I have an eyelash in my eye. But he has a tire different than what I do. I have the Nittos. He's running a different tire, and the tire he has, he does not like. I'm just gonna say they're not the safest, I suppose. He's a little uncomfortable as far as the safety of the tire that he has. I have Nittos, he does not. He was asking me how my tires perform in the rain. I was telling him these tires are fantastic. When it rains, you don't even know it's wet out. You could go through puddles at a decent speed. You're not gonna, without hydroplaning. It just cuts through the water. I love them. They're fantastic. The tire he has now, he went through. He hit a small puddle going, I don't know, maybe 30, and he hydroplaned and almost went off the road from hitting a small puddle. Not that I was really going to venture out and go for a different tire whenever these are actually worn down enough to the point where I need to do that, but this just really solidifies that I'm really not going to venture out and try anything but the tires I have on right now. Hey guys, so sorry I haven't been uploading lately. I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything as far as the channel goes. I've been doing, well, I shouldn't say I've been doing a lot of side work lately, but I had a project that I've been doing, as well as trying to get all the turbo stuff together, setting up a date to get it installed, trying to make sure I have all the parts to get installed, getting the tunes, downloading the tunes on the AutoCal I already have from PBEI. Thankfully, all right, well, let me backtrack a little bit. As far as installing, John CL5P, most of you probably know him as Big Turbo LML, is going to be installing the turbo, let's say today's Thursday, tomorrow, Friday through Saturday, Sunday. Unfortunately, I'm booked this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to spend time with John installing the turbo and related pieces. I believe Stefan, Dur the Explorer, is going to be there with him for at least a little while. Maybe Jack will stop in. Hopefully, at some point, one of the days, or for a little bit, I can stop by and check things out, try to help out for at least a little bit. But as of right now, I'm dropping it off tomorrow, and I'll pick it up Sunday. I have a party tomorrow, I have a party Saturday. If I wait till next weekend, he has a motocross, autocross race, and I have something next weekend that I can't think of. Oh, next weekend, I'm sorry, not next week, yeah, next weekend is the Carlisle Truck Nationals that I plan on going to for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, myself, Joey Burchell, and I'm not sure who else. Sorry if there's any wind noise, by the way. I'm just so excited that it's not raining right now. It's actually really beautiful. It's not humid, it's not muggy, it's 79 degrees. It's cloudy, it's kind of gloomy looking, but it's pretty nice out. So I'm trying to enjoy the little bit of nice weather while we have it, because tomorrow we're getting 1 to 2 inches of rain, because you wouldn't be in Pennsylvania if it didn't rain. Also, sorry if the video's a little shaky, I'm trying to freehand here. So aside from the turbo, aside from trying to coordinate, aside from doing extra work, I also found out from John, the EGR right now is turned off in the computer, but all the parts are still there. What the fuck was that? So John's going to be removing the EGR altogether in order to really take out the EGR and install the turbo kit like we need to. I needed to buy the modified up pipe from Worley Custom Fabrication. They're not really all that expensive, it's not a big deal. shipping, I think, was like $13. I called him yesterday. I'm going to have it tomorrow. Whirly is a fantastic company. And I'm not even saying that because I bought my parts from them, but honestly, not even just Jason, the owner, but as far as the tech staff down to the receptionists are fantastic. They all really know their stuff, and they'll take the time to walk you through things. They don't just try to sell you parts and then have you be on your way with it. You tell them what you already have on your truck and your end goal of where you would like to be, and they'll suggest parts. They'll suggest down to the specific model of what you should do. Now by parts, I mean, they're not just going to throw stuff at you to make more money. They'll tell you what supporting modifications you would need to run whatever you want to run. And you can, if you know something that they're not telling you, like for myself, of course I'm doing the bigger turbo with all the intercooler piping. Sorry, I'm under a bridge. With all the intercooler piping, the 4-inch intake, all that good stuff. And I was asking about my trans. I was told that my trans will be okay, and not like how I was told by another company that said it's okay for now. But they said it'll be okay with the amount of power I'll be pushing at the once everything's installed. I asked about fuel injectors. He said don't worry about injectors. Your bottom end will be fine for well, not, I shouldn't say well over, but for over 100 more horsepower than what I will have by the time it's all said and done. So not only as far as their technical support and their just very, very great knowledge of diesel trucks and all the inner workings, all the components of your motor, of your trans, all that good stuff. And they'll take the time to explain things to you. You know, you could say, hey, I don't really know everything. I know a few things. That's what I did. I don't know everything. I'm not a mechanic. I know enough to be dangerous, and I needed a little insight. And they provided that to me. They took time. You know, it wasn't like I ordered everything in one day. It took maybe 2-3 weeks before I felt comfortable in everything that I was getting. So besides the fact that they'll do that for you, you know, I told Jason, I said, look, I'm looking to have this installed this weekend. I was going to drop it off Thursday. Is there any way we can get this pipe expedited? He said, sure, I'll ship it to you in 2 days. So 2 days, I didn't have to pay for 2 days shipping. If I did, I don't know. It was only $13, so I'm going to say that was just regular, you know, ground shipping, I guess you could say. So the last video I tried making, the GoPro died. It cut a little short. So here's what I talked about in that. I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I know that was a little chopped up and probably a little fucked up. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to start getting content to you a little more regularly, like I started to. And it's going to be a whole lot better, considering we're going to have more parts. A very exciting part. And I'm real excited to see it in myself as well as share that with you. Maybe our good friend Jack will take a little bit of something while he's hanging out with John if he shows up. And if he does, I will put that right here. That'll about wrap up all we have for today. Be sure to check in soon. I'll have a lot more for you coming up, especially within the next coming weeks. We have the drag strip show call out, the YouTube call out next Sunday, and the Carlisle Truck Nationals Friday and Saturday. As well as in September, there's a truck themed Cars and Coffee in Bethlehem. And in October, I believe there's another Rudy's event that we're going to be going to. Till then, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever you want to call it. And have a good one.